What's up, guys? It's Rip City Rundown. Welcome back to the weekly podcast that is airing every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to just be wrapping up and recapping the entire first week of the Blazers season. The Blazers end week one, 4-1, started 4-0, ended on a sour note where we are recording right after the loss to the Miami Heat. Dame goes down with a calf strain. We'll get into that. We want to still keep this podcast upbeat because ask us last podcast, we would not expect to be 4-1 if we're being honest. So we're still happy. We're extremely excited about this season. Gotta hope Dame is not out too long. But overall, this has been a really, really good week for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yeah, it's been honestly really exciting to start the year. Let's just talk about the Heat game. Let's get the negative stuff out of the way.
It's hard to get excited right now.
It's hard to get excited because we literally just got blown out by 21, 119-98. Let's just talk about the Heat game real quick, and then we'll move on to better things. So the issue tonight was, let's face it, it was turnovers. This team is turning the ball over at a high clip, and it's really harming them in games tonight. Heat led after 3 by 14, and they had 10 points off Blazer turnovers in that third quarter. And I understand that sometimes it can be because, we have a new team, we're gelling. It's going to take some time to build chemistry, but a few of those passes are just like, dude, it doesn't matter who was on the receiving end of that pass. It wasn't getting there because it was such a bad pass. So the Blazers have to take care of the rock. Dame goes down. I don't want to speak on that too soon. Obviously, it's a calf strain. We don't know how long those take. The Blazers have a little soft spot in the schedule in terms of like rest and stuff. Like they're going to get a lot of rest. So this could be a blessing in disguise. But yeah, those are my negative West thoughts here to open the podcast.
Yeah, I'll just mention something about the Dame injury real quick. Calf injuries, like calf strains in general, are impossible to predict. He could miss one game and be back for this Grizzlies game, which is a week from now. So, like you said, have a lot of rest time after this next Friday game. But it just depends on the players. It could take 2 weeks, and it's. I would have much rather have been a rolled ankle because you will have to ice it, elevate it, and you could be back pretty quickly. But a calf strain, it's different when it comes to every player. So like you said, we're not going to speculate on that, but the vibe changed in that whole game once Dame went out. So I wasn't surprised that the Blazers ended up getting blown out in the end, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I feel like turnovers have been the biggest problem this year so far. Obviously, not a lot of problems in general because we are 4-1. But, I think to remember, this Heat team is really good. I mean, in 2020, they were in the freaking NBA Finals, and then they were one win away from making it to the finals and playing the Warriors. Last year probably would have actually if Bam didn't get hurt, and you're expecting this, brand new team, fifth game into, and they held us under 100 points, and it just shows with experience, but nothing to dwell on too much. The Heat are a really good, solid NBA team, and we're 4-1. So
yeah,
I'm so happy right now. It's fun.
I mean, like you said, Cole, to open the podcast. I think most Blazer fans would sign up for 4-1 through 5 games. I mean,
sign up. Come on,
sign up. I mean, I'm
signing up. Mike's signing. Your Mike's signing up by acting up right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've never been 4-0 since I think you posted on Instagram since the 1999 season.
Yeah.
And I think we went to the finals or
Western Conference Finals.
That
was
before our time.
Did we not lose it? Was that the Kobe Shaq year?
That was Lakers.
Yeah, tough. What was I going to say? Yes. So, of course, we signed up for 4-1. Obviously, the optics look kind of rough right now because, you just come off a 21-point loss and your star player is, hobbled. But let's get into better things. The Blazers absolutely wiped the Nuggets in the second half, beat them 135-110. And for everyone who was saying, oh, the Blazers didn't have, a really signature win because, the Suns are dysfunctional.
Suns are good this year, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
They just crushed the Warriors.
You're right. But the Denver win really solidified that, this team might have a little something going. So, great win. Obviously, Anthony Simons, and Ferno, as we like to call him over here.
Yes.
Yeah, after this past game against the Heat, again, I'm about to go on a negative route, which I'm mad I am, but someone put on Twitter, Anthony Simons has only had one good quarter, and it's made me think.
That's such a lie.
But he hasn't shot the ball over – I don't think he shot the ball over 50% in any quarter other than that one. Shooting the ball, he's definitely struggled other than that one. So
That's a horrible take by whoever tweet that is, just by
I
the way.
mean, it just shows how hot you
No,
can
no,
be.
no. I'm fourth quarter against the Suns. I'm
I
taking
no,
his
I know
third quarter.
he had
His
his
third, no,
he had
no.
his moment.
I'm just saying that's so unfair that you're like, oh, he's had one good quarter. Okay, so you had one quarter where he had 20 plus points. It's like, bro.
No, but I did go back and look. He's only had one quarter where he shot over 50%, which has been concerning because
dude.
you would have thought he would have gotten back to his hot shooting form against the Heat, and he went
the Heat
5 for 12. So, and he ended up obviously getting a lot more of the
attention
once Dame went out. So his shooting numbers did dip a little bit. I don't know. I didn't say I agreed with it, but I just want to point that
I'm
out.
just saying, like, let me just say this: Blazer. Okay, honestly, all of Twitter pretty much. So it's an overreaction, just cesspool. It's like, dude, everyone just needs to calm down. It's like there's plenty of times when I'm like thinking of something, like during the game, I just wanted to say Nurk stinks, but I'm like, I'm gonna reassess. I'm gonna think about my claim here. I was like, does Nurk really stink? Okay, sure. His finishing subpar, but I mean, he has 13 and 12, and he holds Jokic to 4 points. It's like, Nurk's a good center. You can't just like Anthony Simons misses a 3. This dude stinks. He doesn't have a good quarter. It's like, just people need to calm down.
Yeah. To get into some more positives, I mean, the Kings game was fun, but let's be honest. The Suns game, Lakers game, and Nuggets were all better. Just for a little fun, just rank the 3 in order on your favorite win, best or worst, because that's really hard. Because I could go either way with this one. But actually, I'll go first. I'll go first. So I'm gonna say
go ahead and answer your own question.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Lakers number 1. Okay, Lakers number 1.
Why?
Dame's step back was so hype.
Vintage.
And then when we came back like kind of big time in a short period of time. I'm gonna put Suns at number 2, classic OT, Simon's game winner, and then I'm gonna put Nuggets at number 3 because it was fun, but it was a blowout.
Personally, I'm taking the Suns game first because, like, yes, the end of the Lakers game was so fun, but that was just such a sloppy game from both sides for a majority of it that the ending, I think the Suns game was high quality basketball the whole time. First home game too. And that was obviously the first like big test for Portland. So, I mean, obviously the Lakers clearly don't seem to be a test at this point, but I thought the Suns game, Nuggets last because just it was a blowout. So,
yeah, that's really hard. It sucks. It's a blowout, and we arguably the best individual performance of the whole NBA so far in one quarter. But yeah, Nuggets get cut. I'll start Suns too because that game had everything. Like we forced it to OT. We were down for most of the game. And then you have Simon hitting the floater. You have Dame chirping Ayton at the free throw line. You have the Blazers botching the offensive rebound and Jock Landale actually putting up a brick. So the Blazers prevail. But yeah, that's a good little exercise there. Takeaways from the Nuggets game other than Simons?
I would say I'm trying to not get my games mixed up here.
I can just give y'all just a really quick recap in the box where obviously Dame had 31, he was high score. Josh Hart had 6 and 11. Nurk had 13 and 12. Let's talk about Nurk.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say you mentioned it earlier, but the defense on Jokic was amazing. Not just Nurk. Eubanks had some second quarter minutes on Jokic as well, and the fact to hold him under 10 points and to keep him at only 4 shots.
4 shots.
That's
MVP. 4 shots.
I mean, Nurk definitely missed his bunnies that game, but he definitely made up for it on the defensive side of the ball and with his playmaking that game too, 6 assists. So yeah, I'll say Nurk and the bigs as a whole had a really, really good showing that night.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at the Denver side, obviously Aaron Gordon 26. Aaron Gordon's such a weird player to me.
The quietest 26 I've ever seen.
I feel like he's just like the perfect. I feel like all his buckets are just like junk buckets. Like this dude just cleans up around the rim. This man has no bag in the mid range, obviously, and this dude is like he's a spot up shooter. Obviously against us in the playoffs he couldn't miss, and every game and every time else he can't hit. So. Yeah, 12 for 16 from the field. Good showing from him. Are y'all taking, I think I asked you this, but you guys taking Aaron Gordon or Jeremy Grant?
Oh, I'm taking Jeremy
Grant.
Which is really, like, now that I'm saying I'm taking Jeremy Grant, I'm not being biased in that. Like Jeremy, I think actually is the more complete player, but they really ran out Jeremy Grant of Denver to get Aaron Gordon in a way. So interesting. I mean, I don't think Jeremy Grant's obviously a lot better than what he was when he was in Denver, but yeah, that's it. I think they would probably rather have Jeremy at this point.
Jeremy Grant is just so much just bigger bag on offense, and
That's
Aaron
fair.
Gordon's kind of, I don't want to be mean, but he's kind of gross to watch in my opinion, especially on the offensive end. I don't know.
Gross.
I mean, I was watching that Warriors series getting kind of mad about anyway, but yeah, I'm taking Jeremy Grant kind of by a mile actually. So
interesting. That's just food for thought. I think it is kind of interesting how Denver trade, or I don't know, did they trade Grant? Did they let him walk? I don't remember, but
they let
they get rid
Grant walk.
Yeah, because Detroit gave him
he got his bag from
Detroit, right?
Detroit.
And then you go, you trade Gary Harris and obviously some draft capital for Aaron Gordon, his replacement, and then Jeremy Grant kind of blossomed into an equal, if not better player. Very interesting. Let's shout out Shaden Sharp for the Denver game. He had 11 points.
Tonight, 15 points against the Heat.
Career high 8 rebounds as well. So
yeah,
let's just talk about Shaden as a whole.
Yeah, Shaden to me, athleticism shows. First of all, like this dude can jump. This dude can run. This dude also on deep. Like he has the tools to be a good defender. Obviously he's a rookie. Rookies make mistakes. He had some. Obviously, like right now on the offensive end, he's taking some shots that I don't necessarily agree with, but you got to get your shots up. So, I appreciate his confidence. I appreciate his willingness to go out there and just play the game, honestly, because I feel like a lot of rookies sometimes they're like, I don't want to mess up. But I think he's just playing, and it's showing. 15 tonight, 11 against Denver. He's playing meaningful minutes.
Yeah, I love what I've seen so far from Shaden Sharp. I feel like he's on an upward trajectory. I feel like he started off slow in the preseason, missed some shots, but I feel like he's getting comfortable shooting the ball, and that's what's important. And someone said this to me. They see a lot of Ja Morant type of vibes in Shaden Sharp. Do you guys see that at all? Because they're not necessarily the same build. They're both freakishly athletic. Obviously, Ja has more of a bag, but you don't think that's a good comparison?
Because I Shaden at this point, like Ja's becoming a little bit of a better shooter, but Shaden is much more of like a shooter than
also like
just driver.
I mean, if you're speaking from an athletic standpoint and like how I don't think Shaden's going to be that guy that's going to literally take the ball and attack you downhill, like and go to the rim over and over again and beat you like off the dribble. Like I don't know. I see more like a Bradley Beal type to Shaden's game, but much more athletic. Like Shaden's going to live on the perimeter more. His shot's way better than Ja's. I mean, Ja's just a freak. So I mean, this is nothing against Ja. Ja is insane, but that's an interesting comparison. I understand. But I wouldn't necessarily. It's not a great comparison.
I really have no comparison for him right now. I mean, it's still just 4 games into his career. So I think the best part about it is the fact that he is getting meaningful minutes. He was the first guy off the bench in the Nuggets game, which was very interesting to see. That was obviously no Winslow that game, who was typically your 6th man, but Chauncey showed a lot of trust in him. He's played 15 minutes a game this year. He typically plays a good portion of the second quarter and then a good portion of late third quarter. So he's a stalwart in that bench unit. He's not really played much with the starters a ton, but at the same time, it's his 4th NBA game. And the fact that he's getting this many minutes is promising for sure.
I want to talk about Chauncey Billups because you mentioned him a little bit. This is kind of going off like the Sharp doesn't play much with the starters. And, Chauncey's rotations and lineup like combinations have been very fluid. They're not, I think in the Terry Stotts era, it was a lot like, all right, Dame's going to play until 2 minutes left in the first. He's going to sit until 9 minutes left in the second and fourth. And we're going to ride the starters 39 minutes a night. Now I see Chauncey trusting young guys. Also, this is due to a roster construction. I want to say like we actually have like options and like we have guys who can play multiple spots. So, give credit to Cronin there, but what are your thoughts on Chauncey and just the way he's managed the roster in minutes?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I think when you have a lot of versatile guys, like almost redundant players like Josh Hart and Jeremy Grant, all these guys, and we don't have Gary Payton yet, guys. That is
Facts. We'll talk about
a
him later.
huge thing. We'll talk about him, but I also just like the energy I've seen so far. And you could argue he's made some, I guess, game-winning decisions, like, to sit out Nurk that very first game at the very end, to not put him in, even though the Kings had Sabonis, and what happened? We ended up winning the game, and then you put him in at the end of the Lakers game, and I don't know. I feel like he's just made all the right decisions so far, and yeah, great energy source, and I love what I've seen. I love what I see so far. Now that he actually has a team that he can, do something with, unlike last season.
I think that his decision making, like when it comes to what type of defense to play, we've seen us mix between a zone and a man, the obvious man to man, but we had a lot of matchup zone. I think that's messed up some opposing offenses a lot. We are one of the best teams coming out of timeouts. That's purely based on coaching and drawing up plays. And then, yeah, like you said, rotations I think have been really good. I like how in the first quarter we typically see Simons come out. Simon's the first one to come out. He comes back in. When Dame goes to the bench, we always like to have one of those two guys on the floor at all times if possible. So if I had to give a grade to Chauncey, I mean, I would give him an A+ at this point. Like, no one would have expected us to be 4-0. I think even tonight,
4-1.
4-1. I think even tonight, like, he pulled the plug at the right time. There's no reason to. We saw the energy was completely shifted once Dame went down. No reason to leave guys out there when we're down 30. So I think that, I mean, even everyone says that Chauncey, if they had to give out Coach of the Year right now, I'd go to Chauncey because no one expected this. So I've loved what Chauncey's done so far.
Yeah. And you want to go ahead, Cody? You got something?
I just want to say this might be credit to Chauncey and Joe Cronin, our whole organization, our whole team. Just the amount of 2017, 2018, 2016, the Blazers would win a game if Dame scored over 30. That was it every time. Yeah. But I feel like now we actually have different options and ways we can win basketball games, which is really fun. So like the Nuggets game, like Jeremy Grant, Simons, Dame all scored over 20 points. That would never have happened from our roster 5 years ago. Again, credit to Joe Cronin for this, but it's true. Kings, again, 3 of our starters scored over 20 points. Lakers, it was Dame's turn to pop off and drop 40. Suns, it was also Dame's turn to drop off and pop off and drop 40 points. So I just love how many different ways we have of winning. And tonight, nothing went our way. No one stepped up. That's fine. It's going to happen. But it's just really promising to win a basketball game when Dame's not dropping 30. It really is.
Yeah.
I want quickly, I'm going to hop off real quick because Dame is talking about his calf injury. It's a 1-minute video, and you guys continue.
Okay. Yeah, that is vital information. But I do agree with you, Cody, as we let's have a little Joe Cronin discussion while Cole's away. Obviously we're walking this fine line between retooling the roster, but keeping Dame happy and like trying to compete. And I think he's done a really good job so far. I think, these players like Josh Hart, Justice Winslow, just like high motor guys that you might look at them like, oh, they're not the most talented guy. They're not going to put the ball in the basket at an insane rate, but they just have a knack for impacting the game in positive ways. Josh Hart, 16 rebounds against the Lakers. 16. Pretty sure that had to be the high rebounder. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis led them with 10. Nurk had 13. We rebounded. We're rebounding well. That's another reason why we lost tonight, because we couldn't get a freaking rebound. But yes, I want to shout out Joe Cronin for the roster construction. I want to also shout out Chauncey for coaching. Well, honestly, do you think, I don't know if there's anything to this, but I want to get your opinion on this. Chauncey being an ex-player, do you think players in the league like respect that more than maybe someone who hasn't played, like Terry Stotts? Like, I feel like Chauncey connects with them more because he played in the
Terry
NBA.
Stotts played in the league, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
You might
yes.
You actually might be right, but
he did. Okay. Anyway, but
like obviously like Chauncey's a bit more
a well-known player. Like he's in the top 75, right?
Yeah, he's like a player's coach. Terry, I don't know. Man, I'm tripping, bro. Terry Stotts did play in the league.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that. But yeah, there's a lot of coaches in the NBA that are non-players, and I think being a former player, you get more respect out of it just because that was your
Wait,
whole life.
He didn't play in the NBA.
Terry Stotts?
No.
Just because he's 6'7" doesn't mean he's an NBA player.
No. He got drafted, but he could not find a place on the team. He got drafted by the Rockets in the 1980 NBA draft, but he could not find a place on the team. He began his professional career in Italy before joining George Carls's Continental Basketball Association (CBA) team, the Montana Golden Nuggets. Shout out Montana. Full circle here. Anyway,
Montana flag in the background. Okay, I'm giving the Dame update.
No. Okay, yeah, and then I want to. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Dame said that it was just tight. Like he said, it was a little irritated coming into the game, and he said that throughout the game it was just kind of felt a little tight, but it was fine to play through. And then he said just on that one step back, it just tightened up a lot. And he was just like, there's no point in pushing through anymore. And he was like, if this was a playoff game, he would have kept playing. And he was able to do all the rehab in the back, and he'll probably just miss Friday just to rest it. So
okay, that's
sounds like very, very.
That's huge.
News.
That's huge because let me just say something here, Cody. Let me just get on. Let me get on a soapbox here. The Blazers are the worst. Have the worst luck with injuries. The worst luck.
Tell me about it. Let's
hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's go around. Let's go around. I think we could go around maybe 10 total times each.
Do you want to talk about it? There were 3 guys that wore Blazer uniforms. 3 guys played 62 games together, I believe, and they went 52-10. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That player was LaMarcus Aldridge, Greg Oden, and Brandon Roy.
Okay, one gets hurt. Okay. If one gets hurt,
okay.
We can allow one to get hurt, but 2 got hurt.
Brandon Roy's knees said "see ya." Greg Oden. No, I'm not getting into this, but it's funny though. I will actually say this because it ties back to Dame. Brandon Roy and Oden getting hurt and blah blah blah. Changes the structure of the team. Somehow we end up with Gerald Wallace, and somehow the Nets give us the number 6 pick in the 2012 NBA draft. So there's a reason for everything. But Blazers and injuries are just synonymous at this point. So hearing Dame and hearing that he avoided a major injury is massive for this team, and the schedule just happens to work out. So maybe it's okay.
With what I've seen so far from our team, there's no reason we should lose to the Rockets with or without Dame.
Agreed.
And we're at home, so I don't think there's any way we should lose. I mean, I'm expecting to go 5-1 with Dame back going to Memphis, or as when we play Memphis on Wednesday, which is a week away. We got only 1 game, or we'll have 2 games until next podcast. But
hey, Cole, let me ask you this question. This is kind of pre-Dame update you gave us, tying it back to Chauncey a little bit. We were talking about Terry Stotts and if he actually played in the NBA, because I posed the question, do you think Chauncey, being a ex-player, is able to connect with current players more than, say, a Terry Stotts who didn't play in the NBA?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Is that, you want to expound upon that, or you just want to give me the yes?
I think that anytime if you played for Terry Stotts for a while, there's no difference. I don't think Dame looks at Chauncey much different than he looks at Terry when it comes to like the respect levels. Obviously, Chauncey can connect to him a little more because he was also an all-star point guard. Now, for guys like Jeremy Grant or guys like Shaedon Sharpe, in your first year with a new coach, whether that was coming in with Terry or coming in with Chauncey, you probably connect with Chauncey a little more because you know more about him. You know what he's all about more so than Terry. So to answer your question, yeah, I think Chauncey is, yeah.
Any final closing statements on Chauncey? We all gave him A's for his coaching job so far. I think that's very fair. He's done a great job. Let's move into just kind of like as a whole. Do you think starting 4-1 has changed your expectations of the team? And then, because our expectation is probably a little different than the general expectation, because we support our team. We believe in our team. We always want our team to overachieve. Like, do you think a 4-1 start, you think this is legit? Do you think this is not? Like, do you think the Blazers are still fighting for 40 wins? Like where do you see this team going forward?
I think 5 games, it's not a lot, but it kind of is, I guess. Like you can it depends which way you look at it, because I don't know, five games is a lot, guys. It really is a lot. But like if I were to, I think there's an amazing chance at the moment that we are not a play-in team, but a playoff team.
Interesting.
Like I'm not gonna say like
Early.
I'm not even gonna even say close to a lock at all. No way. But I'm just saying like there's a solid chance we will be, from what I've seen so far, that we will be a playoff team, not a play-in team. And I feel like the majority of just NBA fans predicted the Blazers to be a play-in team. Even us, when we were saying we're going to be unbiased and give our honest prediction, a lot of us predicted that we would be a play-in team. But after a start like that against some pretty tough teams, but then again, we could be like 2-3. Okay, we couldn't, but like we've had some close games too.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
we have.
We should have lost that Lakers game. If you're up 8,
and we arguably should have lost that Phoenix game.
Yeah. So yeah, saying we could be 2-3 is not a crazy statement.
I mean, it's early.
I would say that my expectations haven't changed at all. Like I still think currently we're a play-in team. Like if I had to put money on it, I would say we would be a play-in team. I said before the year that we would be the 9 seed. I think big deal. We could be a 7 or 8 seed now.
Yeah.
But which is a big deal in terms, but we're not getting into that. But I will say that our wins, I don't think what we're doing is fluky. Like there's the only thing that I was listening to the Zach Lowe podcast, just like a snippet of it. And like he was talking about it. This Blazer team isn't doing fluky things. Like the only thing that's out of the ordinary is we were shooting 41% from 3 prior to tonight. Maybe that'll drop down a tad to like 38, but he also said we're turning the ball over at an exponential rate for a Damian Lillard led team. So you take those two and you put them back to the mean, you get a similar result. So I think we will play the same style of basketball, and I think we could still get a lot of wins this year. But the West is so unbelievably deep. And
so if I said at this point, Vegas had it at 39.5 prior to the year, if I bumped that up to 43.5,
that's like, if I would say we're going to win anywhere between 43 and 45 right now. And I think that could still be like an 8 seed in the West.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, going back to your point, Cody, about it's only been 5 games, and well, 5 games is not a lot, but 5 games is a lot because, it tells you it's your first impression. You can only make a first impression once, and first impressions matter. But the counter argument to this is Utah is also 4-1, but no one had that. No, that's not legit. Like, come on. But that's what people might be saying about us. I'm just saying it's very easy to justify a lot of different things through 5 games. So, nothing's really set in. Like, for example, Miami came into the game the 8th worst defense in the NBA, and they didn't play like it. They played like a top 5 defense tonight.
Which they are, maybe.
Which they could be by the end of the year. It's only been 5 games. So it's interesting. Let me run through a quick Western Conference standings break, like just rundown, not like all records, but just like hypothetically teams that have looked better or looked worse and could hypothetically open the door for Portland. Just brief thoughts on these teams. Obviously, Phoenix looks great.
Yeah.
Memphis looks great. New Orleans looks great.
Memphis is so weird. Memphis, I want to stop on Memphis. They're such a weird team to me. They're so bad at defense, and just they kind of look like us, like what we did in the bubble.
Yeah,
like they're just winning 135, 130.
Golden State looks fine. I'm not too worried about them. Not the Lakers. We'll talk about the Lakers. The Clippers look fine. Not really worried about them. The 3 teams I'm a little worried for right now would be obviously the Lakers. I mean, they are shooting the ball at a historically poor clip. It's absurd. It's actually crazy. I am a little concerned about Dallas. I don't think Christian Wood looks good, but this is really just a run it back team with probably a little less depth.
No Brunson,
No Brunson, but you have Wood. So it is interesting. And then I'm a little worried about Minnesota.
And have you seen their schedule too? They started off with like it was Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Jazz, Pistons. Like they should have started the year like 8-0 with how their schedule starts, and the fact that
they're
what are they 3-2?
They're 3-2. Cats just being a weirdo in the media with this Papa. I don't understand. I in my rankings, preseason Western Conference rankings, I had Minnesota at 9, dude. I don't think they can coexist.
Wow.
I think that once you get to the playoffs, they'll be like a 3 seed and lose to a 6 seed.
I think the Clippers are.
You think Minnesota's a 3 seed?
They like Rudy Gobert has been a top 5 defense every year, and they're like a team. When you're a new team like that, you want to go out and prove it. And I think that like
Interesting.
they're not going to coast at all in the regular season. Again, they're showing so far that they're not going to be that, but that was me preseason.
Yeah. Well, just kind of interesting rundown there. I do think Portland has the media on notice now. I think they have people on notice. Like, this team might not be just playing fodder for the 1 seed. Maybe they backdoor into a 5 or 6 seed if they just keep playing hard every night and stacking wins. So expectations have definitely risen a little bit, but I think they're fair expectations because, let's face it, we've looked good. I mean, Jeremy Grant's looked good. Let's touch on Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's like the first two-way player in Portland since Batum, maybe.
Yeah.
Seeing these players like Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant be able to get a rebound and push in transition and put the ball on the floor is just such a welcoming sight because you go from an Al-Farouq Aminu and Mo Harkless, who clearly can't do anything offensively other than catch and shoot. And then you move to a guy like Rocco, who we traded 2 first-round picks for, and we're like, savior Rocco, come save us. And he just proves to be a slightly better version. Slightly better version than an Al-Farouq Aminu, better defender, better shooter, but can't do anything other than that. He's good on D. He's a solid team defender. He's a solid 3-point shooter, but he's not getting his own. We would never see a wing go out and hit a game-winning shot like Jeremy Grant did in the Dame era ever. Since probably Nick Batum. So
Harkless got 1 game winner, but anyway, yeah.
But that was a catch and shoot 3.
Yeah, true. I think. Actually, no. Go ahead. I don't want to mention that yet.
Okay, but I was gonna move to Josh Hart. Him in transition is like absurd to watch. He goes so fast. The fact that he has that touch off the glass every time, it's amazing. And he I posted these stats the other day and I want to bring him back up. But Hart right now, this was going into the Heat game. Hart was averaging 10.3 rebounds per game, which was second in the league for non-bigs behind LeBron. And then Hart was also the only player other than Nikola Jokic to average a double-double on 50% from the field and 40% from 3.
Getting all these boards, and he's what, 6'5"? Yeah. And guys, here's the thing. Josh Hart, he's great. We have another one. We have Gary Payton. We have 2 Josh Harts.
Yeah, so, I do want to ask you guys, like, where do you see, like, where's Gary Payton going to get his minutes? That's basically my question.
Honestly, I think, as this is what I've seen, I just, like, I don't think he's going to take someone's minutes. I think everyone as collectively just going to, like, go down 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. If anyone's going to take the biggest hit, it's probably going to be Shaedon Sharpe, I guess.
I think at this point you got to play Shaedon. Like, when I say gotta play Shaedon, he needs to get his double-digit minutes every night, at least 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's playing, like, he played 15 tonight at least. He probably played more since it was a blowout, but,
personally, I would rather see, like, Dame and Ant not play 38 minutes. I don't know how much you can take from them, but and I don't even know how much Gary Payton should be playing because it's not like when he was in Golden State he was playing 30+ minutes. Like he would play like some nights.
No, I think he's going to get like 20.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna get, well, it's going to be matchup dependent, obviously, but I mean he's just going to be so valuable because this dude actually can guard 1 through 3 easy, and can occasionally slide onto a 4.
Yeah, it's just like what's the point of other teams setting screens on the Blazers because anyone can guard you? It's beautiful.
Other than like Dame on the block.
When does Gary Payton come back? Anyone know at the top of their head? I think
no.
I've seen re-examined in a couple weeks. I think
I wouldn't be. At least a couple more weeks. How about that? Probably. I don't know.
Because
I
from
feel like
what
they're
I
going to take it slow.
what I know, he's fully healthy at this point. Like he's
It's just
just
getting
conditioning.
conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
What I'm
enough.
confused is when's Trendon Watford going to come back? Because that was a
And does
random
he
injury.
get minutes?
I forgot about him. Did he fall off the
I think
face of
it's
the
him and
planet?
Eubanks just splitting minutes every once in a while. Sometimes it's
Two
Watford if it's
undersized backup centers. Honestly, I don't want to talk about him that much because he's not that important to the team. Like, let's be honest. But Drew Eubanks has been putting in some shifts.
yeah. I got to
So
give my
props
congrats.
to him.
Congrats. Props to Drew Eubanks. That
My
doesn't mean we don't need a backup big, but Drew
yeah,
has been really good so far. He just brings that energy. Like
he
he knows
does.
he's not the biggest. He knows he's not going to go in there and like actually
You know who he low key reminds me of? Like a little less of a motor but like kind of playing the same role. Ed Davis.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of Ed, this is what I wanted to bring up. The difference between the Blazers team this year and Blazers teams of the past, like forget the starting lineup, forget just a better fit. We're bringing Justice Winslow, the number 7 overall pick, Nasir Little, and I know Eubanks is whatever, but we actually have a decent bench now. Like on the top, Gary Payne II, I'm throwing him in there. Instead of over the years, it was Jake Layman. It was Nick Stauskas.
I'm not even gonna lie though. Before these first 4 games, I would have compared that bench to the bench before, but they've definitely proved me wrong. Like they're surprising a lot of
Nasir
people. And look
Little
a
was
lot better.
starting for us last year. Now he's coming off the bench.
Yeah. Nas,
Like
Nas, let's touch on Nas a little bit real quick because he was ugly in the preseason. But he's definitely looked a lot better. He's still not what I would have expected like 2 months ago when I said he should have been the starter, but he's looked a lot better than in the preseason for sure. He's a little more confident hitting some more shots.
yeah, that's another like reason I'll shout out Chauncey is choosing Hart to start at the 3. Like that was a good call. My expectations personally for Nas are probably not as high as others. I just don't really see it like long term, but I think his role now is like he can really thrive. So
Okay, sorry guys, I was looking up something because huge question mark going to the league was the defense. The biggest thing I wanted to change, kind of the point of getting all these versatile bench players. Where do you think we rank right now in defense in defense in the NBA?
and
wanted
is this team defense or defensive rating?
defensive rating.
Okay.
So points per game so far we have
Like
let up
per 100 possessions, it's probably what it is. Is it like I'm
I would
gonna
say
go
we're top 10.
No,
Like-
well, we were 8th until we just gave up one night. I'll go 10th.
All right, we are 15th right now. So
Oh well,
Okay, so
I know we were top 10 prior to this game. We had
yeah,
to.
I know. Well, again, 5 games, one game's going to change a lot when you let the Heat drop.
But 5 games is a lot of games though, Cody. So
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying, lots of. But that is what we wanted. Like I think,
Yeah.
multiple times throughout the summer, I was like, if we're a top 15 defense, I know our offense is going to be great through Damon Simons and Jeremy Grant and all our offensive pieces. If we're a top 15 defense, that's good enough for me. So
Yeah, I
and
think
we've had a hard schedule, and we've had a hard, like I'd say,
we have had a hard
decently
schedule.
hard schedule. Speaking of schedule,
hard
we're about to go on. What is this?
6-game road trip, I think.
6-game road trip in a week.
Wait, is that starting with the Grizzlies or is that
No,
after
the Grizzlies are at home.
Yeah, we got Houston, then Memphis, and then we have 6 road games. We go Phoenix, Miami, Charlotte, New Orleans, Dallas. That is gonna be brutal. But if we can
The
go,
only winnable game that they're like off the
Charlotte.
is Charlotte, but also like Phoenix back to back, like that just screams 1-1 to me. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
no way you beat them twice.
I mean, yes way. They're Phoenix, they're really good. But
No way we beat them twice.
oh yeah. No, yeah.
yeah, we don't want to top.
I do want to get into the schedule in a little bit, but the last point I'll make about, the defensive rating, offensive rating, 15th. I remember past 2 years, 2 or 3 seasons at least, we were like, the Blazers obviously are going to have a great offense. We can just be like 20th in defensive rating. We'd be a playoff team, and we're 15th. And it's the thing I'll say about this team is we have like an identity now. Like we're gonna play hard on defense. We're gonna switch. We're gonna make you earn it, and we're gonna get out and run. And this transition game that we've been playing has obviously buoyed the offense a lot because, on the surface, I mean, Hart's a reluctant shooter in the half court. Grant, I'll give Grant, obviously Nurk has his struggles with finishing, but like having Hart just get out on the run and leading the break is giving us like 15 to 20 points a game, like easy. And that's just key and stretches of an NBA game. So that's just a new dimension to the offense that I'm excited for because it's an easy way to get baskets.
Yeah, I wonder, like, they probably
You
have
don't
this
play
number.
against that defense.
They probably have this number out there somewhere, but like, I wonder what we are ranked in like transition offense. You can probably look that up. But my question to you guys that I was just a question I wanted to ask prior to even this game is kind of two-parted, but the main portion is who, because I asked it to the followers after the Lakers game, I think, or no, maybe it was the Suns game when I made that post-game video, but who would you say is like your underrated MVP for this team right now? Obviously, like Dame's not going to be that, but I gave my answer after that game. Yeah, Hart was a huge answer for everybody, but I said Eubanks because the fact that he has been like serviceable and to the point where like a lot of these games he's actually been a plus is mind-boggling to me. So
let me just throw this stat in. Guess where the Blazers are in fast break points per game?
6th.
5.
We are 3rd.
Oh dang!
Sacramento leads the league. Do you have De'Aaron Fox? It makes sense. Milwaukee's number 2. Portland's number 3. The Lakers number 4. The Lakers number 4 because they actually can't shoot in the half court, so they got to get out and run.
Got to go and run.
I mean, these stats are gonna flatten out once more variables.
I think that's sustainable for us, though.
Get put in. I mean, but it says we're a 14 offense right now, which is cap, so that's a little surprising. But and it also says we are the second worst team for assists, which is, I mean, I know we're Blazer fans, so we
think about it. If we're second and fast or third in fast break points, a lot of our points are just grab the rebound and someone takes it the whole way.
That's true.
With no passing, which we'll take.
Those are going to correlate and overlap a little bit.
But that does surprise me a little bit.
Interesting to look at. But for my low-key MVP, I'm going to say Jeremy Grant. I mean, I guess that's kind of a safe one, but he just checks all the boxes for me. I don't know. Defense is there. Rebounding's there. The plus-minus is there. The efficiency's there. So I'm going to say Jeremy Grant. And he's shown up every game. He hasn't had like a bad performance yet. So I'm going to say him.
Yeah. I'm taking Josh Hart, the guy who can grab 16 rebounds in a game. But a bunch of Grant's a great option too. Let's discuss the upcoming schedule. It's an absolute doozy here coming up. We have the Rockets who are in the Wembanyama sweepstakes. So hopefully they're enticed to lose that game. Give us a dub. If assuming we beat the Rockets, nothing in the NBA is guaranteed. We're 5-1. We got ESPN game against Memphis.
We live streaming that game?
I'd love to. I think it was
love to.
Yeah. I think it was all on our top 5 games to get excited.
Absolutely was.
Because it's Memphis. And Memphis likes to bring that smoke.
Yeah. Only 2 games this next week. That's so weird, but it's such a blessing now that Dame's.
You guys gotta give me a prediction. Are we going 1-1 or 2-1 or 0-2 before next podcast?
1-1, 2-1, or 0-2?
1-1, 2-0, or 0-2.
I think we beat the Rockets. Like, you got to beat the Rockets. And
give me 2-0.
Give me 2-0.
Give me 2-0. Like, that's a home game. That's national TV. Dame's gonna be healthy coming back.
I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say this: if Dame's healthy, I'll go 2-0. If not, 1-1. Following that, we go at Suns, back to back in Phoenix. That's just a scheduling nightmare. Please, NBA, do better. That's terrible. I guess it's not bad.
We have a couple of those the whole year, I think.
Maybe. Okay. Well, yeah.
They did that for some reason. I don't know.
Suns, Heat, Hornets, Pelicans, Mavericks, all on the road. How many games do the Blazers win there? I'm going to go 2-4.
So if we're 4-1, and I'm just going to include these next 2 games, we got 8 more games until the end of the road trip.
Yeah.
I would say if we have 10 wins, I'll be so happy. That would mean 6. Oh, wait. Whoa. That's a lot of wins.
That's 4-2 on the road trip.
Give me
I said 8-5.
Yeah. 8. If we could win 4 out of the next 8.
Yeah, that's 8. Assuming we beat Houston and Memphis, then we need to win 2 out of the 4 games. I'm saying we split with the Suns and beat the Hornets. At Miami they've looked really bad on their home floor, but they just showed what they can do. Honestly, Dallas. I think we can beat Dallas. I'm not that high on Dallas.
I mean, I think we can, like, at this point, I think we can beat any team, but it's, again, a road trip is such a different story. But, like,
yeah.
If before the season we play the Nuggets, like, even going into that Nuggets game, I was thinking we're just going to lose that game.
Dude, I feel like every NBA team is good.
And we also have, like, a really hard schedule to start the year. If we had the Timberwolves schedule, ain't no easy.
Because after Dallas, we get the Spurs, Nets, Jazz at home.
That's a nice 3-game stretch.
Then we got to go on the road to Bucks, Cavs, Knicks, Nets.
It's tough. I mean, it's ebbs and flows. Our schedule is definitely lighter after the All-Star break, which typically, is when we make our big run.
Final prediction for the season at this point, I'm going 43-39, the 7 seed.
I'm not going to change my prediction yet.
I think we just play 500 basketball the rest of the way.
I'm going 6 seed. Give me like 44 wins.
Yeah,
dude, if we got a top 6 seed, that'd be an overachievement, but it'd be sick.
We're the best team in the West right now, boys, and we have a hard schedule to start. I don't know. You're right. It's only like a game. We
played 3 really good teams, and at this point, 2 really bad teams.
Yeah.
Look, in my opinion, the Kings are going to make the play-in over the Lakers.
Quickly talking about the Lakers, they're 0-4 now. They just lost.
I don't know how the Lakers are so bad, or I do, but I don't know how you can mess up a team with LeBron so bad. But I can't talk about the Lakers right now. Jabari Walker's shorts were on backwards tonight. If you didn't know, Cody.
Thanks for that.
Rookie.
If that matters to you.
In the slightest.
Yeah.
My final question for you guys before we probably start maybe wrapping up. And it's similar to the underrated MVP, but what has been just in general the most surprising thing to you this year about this team so far? And let's get like specific, something that you want to expect to get an answer. Like, I don't want to hear defense. If you want to say something specific about the defense, you can. But most surprising thing for you guys. If I had to think off the top of my head while you guys are thinking, it would be the play of, I'm going to give 2 players, the Justice Winslow and Drew Eubanks, because Winslow was getting 0 love in the offseason. I don't know if we said one thing about Winslow all offseason. It was all, Nas is going to make this jump. Shaden could be really good. Winslow was kind of just like, you were like, he could be a part of the rotation, but it's just Winslow. And he has been a very, very positive piece for this team. And then, like I said, on my underrated MVP, Drew Eubanks has exceeded expectations mightily, especially after his preseason performances. So
I'm going to say specifically Josh Hart on the transition, rebounding, and part of it is my fault because I'm not going to lie, I did not watch that many Blazer games when Josh Hart was on the team last year when we were tanking.
Who did?
Well, I still watch a handful of games, but nothing engagement level like I am now. But he's averaging over 10 boards as a 6'5" guy. Like, that is not something I expected. So I'm gonna say specifically Josh Hart, rebound/transition impact. Yeah.
Good answer.
I'll go with the fact that we can win close games without the ball in Dame's hands. I think in the past it was Damian Lillard only, and on the occasion if CJ was on a scorcher like Game 7 in Denver 2019, he defers. But we're 2 of our 4 wins, half of our wins were Dame defer. You can even say the Kings game. I mean, Jeremy Grant, Josh Hart, and 1 in the closing minutes. I guess having 3 or 4, I'll say 3 legit options to close a game is my surprise. I guess it's more of a testament to Jeremy Grant and how he's looked so far. So that's what I would say. Also, just like the second one that I just thought of, I didn't expect Nurk to be this bad around the rim. Like, I knew he's not a great finisher, but he was 4 for 12, dude. And they were like all in the restricted area. I could go 4 for 12. Okay, maybe not over Jokic, but against you, I can go 4 for 12 against you at the gym.
Yeah, but I think that he's such obviously such a polarizing player. Like he's gonna piss you off.
Love him,
so
we
many
hate him.
times.
We love him, we hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's less of a hate thing for me. It's more just like what are you thinking?
Like 7 foot, just
you're 7
dunk.
foot, you're 300. You're 7 foot, 300 pounds. Stop trying to Euro step Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
Please use that big body. Use that big booty you got. Jeez. Yo.
It's so unfortunate that the Blazers lost last night or tonight because it's so hard to stay like super upbeat. If we were 5-0 during this podcast, oh my gosh, it would be just like,
well, if we were 5-0,
parties.
we'd be just all over the Blazers. And honestly, our analysis would be so skewed towards how Portland.
Okay. Actually, final thing.
If we were 5-0, we'd be mapping out the championship parade already.
Yeah, which route are we going?
I'm joking.
The NBA power rankings came out, or the ESPN ones for prior to this past game, and they had us at 9, and they had Phoenix.
They had the Jazz at 5. They had the Jazz at 5.
What? I get what's early, but if you're gonna say it's early, you can't put the Jazz there.
The media,
you're putting the Jazz at number 4.
Maybe put Jazz at 5. Phoenix.
I think the Jazz are the 5th best team in the NBA.
I mean, so far, yeah.
But if you're saying so far, then put the Blazers above the Suns.
We did.
That is mind blowing.
To be fair, Phoenix looked great against Golden State,
and we looked great against Phoenix.
Yeah, but
does that mean we are better than Golden State?
Well, us looking great against Phoenix resulted in a 2-point overtime win. Phoenix beat the defending champs by 20.
Yeah, Klay Thompson got ejected.
That's Anyway, any other questions? Any other fun little thought exercises?
Shout out Dame. He did win Player of the Week for the Western Conference. So another award for him.
Oh, I have a very hot take that I was discussing with my friend today that I want to lay it out here. You ready for this?
Yeah.
If the Blazers get home court advantage in the Western Conference, which means top 4 seed, Damian Lillard will win MVP.
The Blazers get top 4.
If he's playing like he is now, then yes.
The Blazers have to have some form of team success.
If he's playing like he is now, then yes.
I think Dame's 50, 40, 90 at the moment. Am I mistaken?
40% from 3?
He was at least coming into the game. He was the only 50, 40, 90 player in the league.
And then tonight he was 6 for 13, 4 for 11, so he's there.
So he's probably still 50, 40, 90.
He is still 50, 40, 90.
Yes, I will say yes, because if we're a top 4 seed, well, he'll be a top 3 guy. I'll say that. It's so hard.
I will say right now, the way it's looking right now, I mean, obviously things change very quickly, but this might be another year Portland doesn't get a second All-Star.
Yeah. We won't. We probably won't. Or we definitely.
I mean, but what if at the All-Star break we're like the 3 seed and we're like, what is it, halfway through? Say it's 41 games.
I think just no matter what,
they were 30, not 30 and 11. That's such cap. Say we're 25 and 16.
Unless Simons is averaging actually 25, then no.
25, dude.
Sorry.
They're gonna give it to Desmond Bain.
They'll give it to Chris Paul over him. If Chris Paul is averaging 14 and 9 on a good leadership.
On good leadership.
Yeah.
The man has no rings, and he's played with how many teams? Now 4, 5.
This isn't Chris Paul slander. We will save that for my preview article when we play the Suns twice.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. We've been posting a lot more than I expected now that the Blazers are 4-0. So look out for preview videos starting probably on the Grizzlies game, maybe West. Look out for those for the Grizzlies games. He'll give you the preview for the game.
I'm gonna put the previews in video format. So
a little betting advice too.
I am 4-1 for the morning. Lost tonight.
And go follow our TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter for just more Blazer news, videos, whatever you want. Any content, we will bring it to you. And is anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
I want to rapid fire question you quick. It's just you just gotta tell me favorite moment of the year so far. Go. You have 5 seconds. Pick.
Dame
Russell Westbrook pulling up. Dame time. Actually,
pull some Westbrook
Cody's
slander?
reaction to Nurkic setting that screen on Pat Bev.
Okay, yeah. Nurk.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that yet.
Wait, what was yours, Cody? What was your favorite moment?
Dame step back 3 to lead by 2.
Hit me with
honestly,
a question.
Honestly, mine's gonna be the Josh Hart and 1 when he shouldn't have against the Kings, dude. I mean, dude, imagine we're 0-1. We'd be like, bro.
That would have been a rough pod that night.
Yeah.
Anyone got some rapid fire questions, or are we done?
Yeah, I can't think of one right now.
Sounds good.
Hit or miss on the new red jerseys?
Hit.
I'll say hit, but it could be better. We'll take it.
True or false? Crypto.com is a terrible arena name.
True.
Yeah, it's quiet. Okay, that's gonna do it. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, do all those things, and give us 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify. And we'll see you in our next podcast. Peace.
Cool.